I took my last tablet of Lexapro, well in actual fact it was my last quarter of a tablet of Lexapro about 2 weeks ago. In other words, I am now officially off the Lexapro. Now, it was a very interesting experience, I must tell you. And I consider it to be a two-phased thing. The first phase is when you are treating the condition for which it is intended. And on that part, I have nothing but praise for this drug. It has really helped. As you know, I was in a very dead-end, demotivating job. And unbeknownst to myself, this was slowly dragging me down to the point where I couldn't even find within myself to get up and go to do something about the situation. The Lexapro changed that. It didn't solve the problem. These drugs never solve your problem. And if anybody is watching this thinking that they can take an SSRI like that and solve their problem with it, you'd be sadly mistaken. Because if you have a problem like that, you need to address the cause of that problem. But what Lexapro allowed me to do was find that bit of motivation, find the get up and go to do that. And I did. I found a new job, which is much more to my liking, and having solved that problem, I could then start thinking of stopping the treatment. That's where phase 2 came in. And now phase 2 is a very different kettle of fish. Coming down from this drug has proven to be quite unpleasant. That's the only word I can find for it. It's unpleasant. It's not like it affects your mood that much. That's not what it is. It's not like I felt myself sinking back into my depression or something like that. No. That didn't happen. But as I went on half doses first. I went from 10 milligrams to 5 milligrams. Which was fine, not a bother at all. The problem started when the doctor tried to build it down slowly by telling me to take 5 milligrams every other day. And this is when I started noticing problems. On the off days, the days where I wouldn't take the tablet, I felt dizzy. I felt a light-headed feeling, sort of, yeah, dizziness. That's probably the best way to explain it. It's not quite right. It's sort of a bit like sinusitis, that sort of feeling. And the day that I took the tablet, that would disappear. Now, I knew I couldn't sustain that, and I also knew that coming off it at the end was just going to be just as hard as in the beginning. So I then decided myself to take a slightly different approach. So what I started off doing was cutting those tablets in half and taking half a tablet every day. I did that for about a week. I then started taking quarter tablets. And at that point I did start stretching the period between taking the tablets, until towards the end I was taking a quarter tablet once every 4 or 5 days. But still I was getting this dizziness, this awkward, dizzy feeling in my head. But much reduced. Still unpleasant. And still tough, especially in cases where people might still have slight emotional problems to deal with as well. That's why it is very important to take the drug until you've resolved your problem. But I would ask the makers of this drug to start thinking of finding something to address this calm down problem. Because I've heard a lot of people have problems coming down off this drug. Now you might be cynical and say maybe that suits them just fine. But I would like to think that at least the doctors would like to help the people out and also help them out towards the end of the treatment, and therefore I would suggest that they start producing microdoses of this product. Doses equivalent to a quarter or even an eighth of a tablet, which people can take as a part of the calming down process. I think that's needed. Other than that, it was a good experience and I'm glad I did it.